Hector Bravo, unhinged. Chaos is now in session.
Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. Today, another banger, man. We're connecting NorCal and SoCal all the way up from Sacramento. We have somebody that got sentenced to 50 years to life in prison at the age of 14. None other than Big Stay, a prisoner's voice. What up, dude?
Hey, man, it's your boy Big Stay, the prisoner's voice. So with the click, live and direct, Salam alaikum, I commit to a lie, or praise be to Allah. Peace, blessed be upon the viewers that's watching this. We're here on another blessed interview.
You weren't kidding about your little intro, man.
Nah, yeah, serious business.
I dig it. So, dude, first and foremost, thank you from traveling all the way from Sacramento, Sacktown.
Yeah, ain't no problem.
Cool. Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Sacramento, California, in South Sacramento, California, G Parkway to be exact.
G Parkway?
Yeah, G Parkway is the neighborhood.
How many parts of Sacramento are there? Because you said South Sacramento.
Yeah, it's four parts. You know, you got the South, the East, the West, and the North.
How is the South? How would you describe that?
Well, the South is more like
Hood?
I mean, all of Sacramento got its own, hoods, but the South Sacramento is like a little bit more grimier.
Grimier?
Yeah, it's a little bit more grimier.
Out of all of them?
Yeah, out of all of Sacramento.
Okay, cool. I know when we went to Mission Beach earlier, man. Beautiful there. You mentioned you started smoking weed at the age of 7.
Yeah, I was 7 years old when I first started smoking weed. I remember one time I was just a little kid and I was watching my uncle, and my uncle was smoking weed, and I seen him grab a lighter and light the blunt, and then I seen him set it in the ashtray when he was done. And as soon as he got done, I went and imitated the same thing.
Okay.
And I've been smoking weed ever since.
What year were you born?
1992.
1992. The riots in L.A. in 1992.
Yeah, that's way before my time.
Well, it was your time because you were born. But so that was the first time. Did your uncle catch you at that point in time or not really?
No, my uncle didn't catch me at that point in time. I think I smoked like a couple more times. And then one day I came in a living room. I just got done smoking, and my mama and my cousin was sitting in the living room, and they had a chair in the middle of the floor. And then she had a serious look on her face, and she was like, "Come here." And then she told me to sit in the seat. So, I'm looking puzzled. As a kid, you looking puzzled. You did something, but, you ain't like, damn, what I do this time? So then when I sat down in the seat, she like, "Oh, you like to smoke, right?" And I'm like, "Huh?" So then she telling my cousin, like, "Man, we should just make him smoke a whole lot until, he don't like it no more." But then I ended up just getting a whooping and going about my business. It didn't stop me from smoking, though. I continued to smoke.
Was there a father figure in the household?
Well, yeah, my dad was in my household till I believe I was like the age of 8 years old,
Okay.
or 9 years old. Then one day I had came from school, and it was me and my older brother. And then once again, my mama, she was standing at the front door. And as soon as we walked in, she was like, "Sit down, sit at the table. I got something to tell you guys." Then she started explaining, how my dad was gonna be away for a while because he was on the run for a murder. So then eventually he ended up, I don't know if he either got caught or he turned himself in, but he ended up going to jail anyway. Then he ended up taking 6 years for voluntary manslaughter. So, at the age of 8, my dad ended up going to prison for manslaughter. And then, I had my uncle, but I wouldn't say he was really a male role model. He was just a male that was in the household. So, when I started talking about male households, I, started venturing outside the household to, my friends in the streets.
If you could remember back to when you were 8 and your mother sat you down and told you your pops was going away for a while, do you remember what type of feelings you had at that time?
Yeah, I was kind of like growing up, I was kind of like a daddy's boy. So, I was sad. And, as a kid, I really didn't talk that much anyways. And, I always had anger issues, but when my dad left, it, intensified my anger issues, and it left me nowhere to, turn to, because I wasn't a mama's boy. I was a daddy's boy, and my dad was gone. So now it's like I don't really care.
Did that bring you closer with your brother?
Me and my brother was close, but I wouldn't say that brought me closer with my brother. I would say that brought me eventually closer as I got older, to my friends in the streets.
Okay, and we'll get to that part. Was your dad part of a gang that you know of?
No, my dad wasn't part of a gang. I think what his case was, my dad used to have all the cars, like all the old school cars and stuff like that. And from the stories I heard, he was going to sell one of his cars. And when he was going to sell his car, somebody tried to rob him, and it ended up being a shootout. That's how he ended up with the manslaughter.
Okay. During this period of time, were you aware of gangs in your area?
Well, yeah, I was aware. I was aware of gangs, but I didn't look at them how society looks at them. Because,
Correct.
like I say, these is all my friends, or these ain't my friends. These is my friends' older brothers, older cousins. These is people close by. So, in all actuality, these is people you growing up with that's buying you candy from the stores and stuff like that. So you're not looking at these people like, oh, these are gang members. But of course, you're surrounded by gang members.
From your area, how many gangs? Because I want to know, dude. How many gangs would you say there are?
Well, in my area or in my neighborhood?
What's the difference? And in your
Well,
area,
my
and your
area would be
neighborhood?
South Sacramento. South Sacramento is divided up into different neighborhoods.
Okay.
You have the Meadowview neighborhood. You have the 29th Street neighborhood. You have the Detroit neighborhood. You have the G Parkway neighborhood. You have the Valley High neighborhood. So you have these different neighborhoods within South Sacramento. But my neighborhood is G Parkway.
G Parkway.
Yes.
Is this a thing where neighborhoods beef with each other?
Well, throughout time and history, neighborhoods have always beefed with each other in South Sacramento. It's just like I compare it to like the Army. Different countries at different times in history. Different countries always go to war over different things, whether it's power, whether it's money, whatever the case may be, resources. So, of course, when gentrified in these small neighborhoods, of course, all these neighborhoods are going to go to war at some point in time because, for one, they're impoverished. And then for two, everybody's battling over the same resources, whether them resources be drugs, money, or whatever the case may be, which leads to, what they call gang wars.
It's a cycle.
Because, you might have a gang member over here. It might be slow over here. And then he might go over to this neighborhood. He might make a little bit more money, but now he's stepping on somebody else's toes.
Are these territories and neighborhoods divided by certain landmarks and or streets?
Well, of course, they're divided by streets. You got the neighborhood signs and stuff like that, which give it its name. So, everything is divided by streets.
Is it cool to venture off into other people's neighborhoods? Or is it you're cool to that? You're just not allowed to sell dope in other people's area?
Well, when you're in South Sacramento, you can go through whatever neighborhoods you want to.
Okay.
It's all South Sacramento. But it's just certain lines and boundaries you don't cross.
Out of respect.
Yeah, out of respect.
What age did you start getting introduced to that lifestyle, or was it just automatic all the time?
Well, I think for me, man, I kind of like just gravitated towards it because even when I was going to elementary school, first grade, second grade, third grade, walking home, me and my friends and my brothers and them would go to the stores and be stealing. So, it'll start off with stealing. And then we'll go around the neighborhood after that stealing bikes. So it was just kind of like gradually just building up.
Who are you stealing the bikes from?
Well, you might be with a group of your friends and you walking past a house. And in this house, it's a bike right in front.
But is that your homie's house? Or just
It might, Sacramento is diverse. So it might be an Asian house. It might be a Mexican house. You know when you walk past one of your homie houses, because his mama gonna say something, somebody gonna say something, and you know what ain't one of your houses.
Yeah.
So you walking by and you seeing a nice bike, and you get to looking around, it's you 4 or 5 of your partners,
You just came up on a bike.
and then you just came up on a bike.
I hear you.
And then we're just walking around the neighborhood and just do the same thing.
No, I hear you. But I've done a lot of interviews, man, and a lot of the stories are similar. And I want to get into, like we said earlier, the cycle of living in poverty. Would you say it was impoverished, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I would say it because I remember growing up, my mama always said we poor, but we got a roof over our head. And I
Right.
didn't really understand that. But what she meant was, even though she going to work and she working her butt off, working a 9 to 5, we just barely making ends meet month to month. So even though we got a roof over our head, we still can't get the things we want. You know, when you see other kids riding around or they got new bikes, new shoes, new clothes all the time, you kind of want them things. And it's like, it ain't that your family can't do it. It's just that they not able because they doing all they can in order for you to grow up successful. Like I say, having a roof over your head, having food in your house and stuff like that. So it's not that, you know, she wasn't trying to. It's just that she couldn't provide that. So, you know, we as kids, we always want things. And when we can't get them things, we find ways to get them, whether it's stealing or things like that. So that's what leads to the behavior.
Okay. Looking back in hindsight now, are you appreciative and do you see the importance of your mother working extremely hard?
Well, yeah. I mean, looking back now, you know, everything that she said rang true.
It's crazy how that works, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy how it works. But that's even when I be, you know, talking to certain people, when they be like, oh, man, we be talking to the kids and they don't want to listen. I'm like, man, it's like planting a seed. It may not grow right then and there, but eventually it's going to grow. But, you know, like I say, man, when you actually see your mama going to work and then you become an adult and you doing that same process, you respect it more.
Right. Yeah, because you understand the hard work that you're putting into. You're stealing bikes, you're stealing candy bars and whatnot. That's just petty so far.
Yeah, that's just petty.
At what point did it start to escalate?
Well, it started to escalate once I think I got like around middle school and we start stealing cars.
God damn, dude, cars?
Yeah, we start stealing cars.
How are you doing that?
I'm teaching. No. See, they got like the Buicks and stuff like that, and the Oldsmobile and stuff, but it got the steering column. But on the side of the steering column, if you pop it, it's gonna be like a little horseshoe. And then all you do is take the flathead, pop the little horseshoe, and then pull it up, and the car gonna start.
Do you need practice, or can anybody do it?
I mean, once you show them how to do it, you gonna get it. Cause that's how it happened with me. Somebody showed me, then I showed somebody else.
Okay.
And it just kept going. But then we went from, you know, stealing cars to stealing purses.
Were you stealing to joyride, or were you doing something with the vehicles?
Well, it all depends. Sometimes we, like I say, we would steal them, then jump out, snap some purses, then jump back in, ride, and probably pass the car off to one of our other friends or some stuff like that. But, you know, it just started escalating, stealing cars, snatching purses, house burglaries, so forth and so on.
This is very interesting, man. At that point in time, did the victims cross your mind at all about what they may have felt?
No, at this time, I'm about 12, 13 years old. So, you know, even, you know, they got the new studies right now to show that, you know, children's brains aren't fully developed. But at this time, you just acting off impulse. You're not thinking about, oh, I just stole somebody's car. They can't get to work today. I just snatched this lady purse. Now she missing her IDs and credit cards. You're not thinking about none of that. To you, it's just fun. And in the midst of that, having fun, you getting what you want. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I just snatched the purse. I got some money. Now I can give me some new shoes. Or I can get this new game that came out.
Using your life experiences with where we're at right now in this conversation, what would you tell those youngsters, 12-year-old kids that are stealing shit?
Well, right now, man, I would tell a 12-year-old kid, man, that's stealing stuff that, man, you know, that's not what you want to do, because, you know, you just enjoy being a kid and enjoy the blessings of your parents providing for you what they can right now, and you stay in school and you stay focused, and you just keep that tunnel vision and you pursue your education, that all these things that you want right now in the short term is going to be much greater when you get older.
Facts, dude. Facts. Burglaries, home burglaries, man. So you guys are just running amok in the sense, dude.
Yeah, we run wild because, like I said, we be joyriding, and you might see a house or something, and then this is what we do. We'll go up, we'll ring the doorbell. So if somebody answers the door, we're going to ask if is a kid there. Hey, is Michael there? And I remember one time we did it, the lady came out cussing, you mother, get that, I know what y'all trying to do. And then she called the police.
Oh, shit, dude.
No, man, we would do that, man. But looking back, man, you know, like I say, especially when you see how, you know, hard people got to work for stuff, man, it's like, damn, man, I was just messed up. You know, you be kind of feeling remorseful and regretful. But at the time, you know, you just doing what you got to do to get what you need.
Were you fulfilling your needs of getting what you needed?
Well, I think I was fulfilling my needs, and also, you know, that thrill and that excitement and that adrenaline rush But then again, when you go in a house and then, you done came up on a PlayStation or some new games
You were
and you
fulfilling
playing
needs.
that, you playing that and this is the only way to get it.
Damn. During this period of time, was there law enforcement contact?
Well, I remember one time we had just stole a G-Rod.
Okay.
So we driving around. We in Green Haven. It's kind of like the white part of South Sacramento. So we in Green Haven. The police pull us over. The cold part about it is the car ain't been reported stolen yet, so they can't do nothing. So what they do is they know we ain't supposed to be driving, so they called all our mamas and drove us home in the back of the police car. So as soon as we get there, I got my ass whooped.
Your mom whooped your ass?
My mama whooped my ass off the top.
Did she use a weapon or her hand?
She used the belt.
Okay.
She
Because I
used
also
the belt.
grew up like that as well.
Yeah, I
getting
got my ass whooped off the top, but they couldn't do nothing. But that was my first contact with law enforcement.
Did that discourage you at any means? Encourage you?
No, it didn't.
Did the ass whooping hurt?
It did. I mean, at that time I was used to ass whoopings. I used to get my ass whooped all the time. I mean, ever since I was in elementary and I started getting suspended. I mean, I was probably suspended once a week.
Fighting or what?
Fighting, cussing out the teacher. I think I was expelled from like 3-4 elementary schools.
Would you say you had a problem with authority?
Looking back now, yeah, I could say it'd be a problem with authority, but I don't even really think it's really a problem with authority. Though. I think it was just dealing with the anger of my dad being gone and stuff like that, and not knowing how to channel that energy.
Right, you're a misguided missile.
Exactly.
There's a lot of similarities between young males at that age. They all take different paths or whatever's in front of them. When was the first time you got incarcerated?
Oh, the first time I got incarcerated was for the murder.
No, there's no way, dude.
I'm trying to tell you, the first time I got incarcerated was for the murder.
There's no way that you were doing all this stuff.
And I was doing all this stuff, and the first thing I get arrested for is a murder.
Let's go there. Were you a part of the gang when the murder transpired?
At that point in time, yes, I was a part of the gang when the murder transpired.
Was the victim an enemy?
He was from an opposite neighborhood.
A rival neighborhood?
Yeah, he was from an opposite neighborhood.
Can you talk about the events that day, or you cannot?
I mean, I can talk about them. I've been convicted and did
correct.
my time
I mean,
for
if
it.
you want to share
I'm remorseful for it and regretful for it.
Absolutely. What was it, a house party?
No, I just happened to be, I think I was kicked out of school at that time, or I wasn't in school at that time, or something happened like that, but I wasn't going to school. And I was going to meet up with a female. And then when I went to go meet up with her, she ended up playing. So then when I left her, I ended up walking to one of my partner's houses. And from there, I was leaving to go to the store. And then on my way to the store, I ended up running into the guard from the opposite neighborhood.
I'm assuming you were armed.
Yes, I was armed.
At what point in time did you start fucking carrying a weapon, dude?
Well, I think I had got my first weapon from a house burglary.
Okay.
And then ever since then, so probably when I was about like 12 years old.
Did you ever fire it to practice or to hear how it sounded or see how it felt? Like in the backyard or anything like that? Or you just always had it?
I just always had it.
Did you know the power that it carried?
Well, I mean, I knew to a certain extent the power that it carried.
Did all your friends have guns?
Not to my knowledge.
Out of all your groups of friends, were you always kind of more turned up than the rest of them?
I was one of the ones that was turned up.
Well, there's different levels of the game.
I was kind of like, one of the ones that was frontlining.
Frontlining, huh?
Yeah, I was frontlining. Like I say, my dad was in prison, didn't have a father figure, didn't really care, was bottled up with a whole lot of anger. And, I played Pop Warner at the same time because my mama and my cousin tried to put me in Pop Warner to direct my energy.
Correct.
But at the same time, I was still gravitating towards the streets. And then eventually the streets had won.
Would you say you were destined to follow your father's footsteps?
Well, see, that's crazy because in my book that's on Amazon, Little State of Transition, I talk about it. I say it's like, because the crazy part is I caught my case January 2007. But the same year I caught my case, at the end of that year, my dad was coming home from prison. So it's like the system traded one for the other.
Damn, dude.
So he was on his way out, and I just came in.
What's the name of your book?
The Transition. It's called Little State of Transition.
When you said that right now, that your father was transitioning out of prison, you were transitioning in, it reminded me that at Centinela we had a father-son duo.
Oh, I done seen that before too. They were cellies.
Correct.
But yeah, that's how it happened though. My dad was going out, I was coming in, but it's like I say, what gravitated me, I think, towards the streets was just, being able to unleash that anger and stuff out like that and act out. And then, like I say, your friends become your family. So in actuality, this thing that they call a gang is really like your family. And, it builds morale, it builds, self-confidence, self-esteem, the wrong type of leadership, but it does build leadership skills.
Right.
And things like that.
At the time of your crime, were you still residing at home with your mom?
Yeah, at the time of my crime, I was only 14 years old.
Did you get caught there on scene, or did you run away and get caught later?
No, I ran away. I got caught like a week later.
A week later?
Yeah, I got caught like a week later.
Were you kicking it at your pad the whole entire week?
No, I was moving from different locations.
But you were smart enough, even at that young age, to move, to be on the move.
Well, yeah, I know I had just did something terribly wrong, so...
Did you know you had killed somebody?
Eventually, yeah, because I seen it on the news later that night. Well, not even, I'm gonna keep it real, but before I even seen it on the news, I was, I think I had just went to Mac Road or something, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody pulled up in a car and they're like, hey, man, you just heard about the killing that happened over there on Whoop-de-Whoop-Whoop? I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm just looking. And then I ended up going to my partner's house.
Did you ditch the weapon?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know, like, how much knowledge you had of getting away after committing a crime, because that kind of takes skill or knowledge. Were you watching movies and you knew how to do all this shit, or was it just
Well, I mean, I think it's really just, an instinct.
Instinct?
Like just acting off instinct. You did something wrong, so, boom, boom. It's just like instinct. Like human beings got a natural instinct.
Correct.
A natural compass, a natural guiding force.
Primal.
Yeah.
Was when you were in hiding, on the run, I should say, the same way you said your dad was on the run. It's a trip. Was your mother aware of this?
No, my mother didn't have no knowledge of nothing.
Were you fearful?
I mean, eventually, because the streets start talking and stuff like that, and he was with a couple of his friends, so then I had already knew one of the dudes he was with, so it's like
just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time.
Did you know it was just a matter of time?
In a way, yeah. I mean, the crime happened broad daylight. No mask on, no nothing.
At that point in time, did you realize the severity of your actions?
I realized it was severe, but then when I actually had to endure the consequences, I didn't know it was going to be all that. Like, a lot of people say, oh, you know what you signed up for?
Correct.
But in hindsight, a lot of people, especially at that age, don't be knowing what they're going to sign up for. Because, you used to be when you was a juvenile, they give you juvenile life.
Okay, until you're 25 or something.
Yeah, but did nobody tell me that, oh, you do that, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. So.
Had you been with a woman at this age, 14?
Yeah, I had a couple girlfriends.
Okay. Because you'd be surprised. There's people that find themselves in prison that had never been with a woman at the age of 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah,
I met those guys too. Eventually, they located your whereabouts.
Yeah, eventually they tracked me down.
Were you in public when they got you?
No, I was at a house.
Did they raid the pad?
They end up hitting like 4 different houses looking for me.
That time or continue
periodically throughout. They hit like 4 different houses looking for me.
Raiding.
raiding the houses,
kicking the fucking door in,
looking for weapons, all that stuff.
Who was it? Sacramento PD?
It was Sacramento PD.
And then eventually your homies will call you and say, hey, they just raided the pad?
No, I mean, the people living there will call me.
So the day they come get you, do they raid the pad?
No, the day they come get me, they just raided one of the houses.
Hey, Warriors, if you haven't already signed up for our all-new website, HectorBravoShow.com, make sure you sign up at the link below, HectorBravoShow.com, to watch explicit, uncensored, never-before-seen prison footage. With that, love you. Keep pushing forward.
Then my mama, she not knowing no better. She basically, oh, they want you for questioning this, and that. Then I end up getting took to the precinct.
And in the precinct, you're in an interrogation room?
I'm in the interrogation room. They got me in there, my brother in there, my other partner in there. Then I got my other partner, I'm not knowing. He got incarcerated for a robbery, but on a whole nother case, then he started volunteering information, talking about he got information for a murder, if they can cut his time down.
For the robbery. That's a trip, dude.
And all he was looking at,
telling on a case that's not even his.
Yeah, and all he was looking at, I think, was CYA.
Absolutely.
And instead of going to CYA, he was trying to go to ROP.
Damn, he really wasn't built for the game, huh?
No.
You're gonna, usually your own crime partner turns on you, but this dude wasn't even your crime partner.
He was trying to.
He turned on you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So
I never heard a story like that.
Yeah, so I done heard plenty of them, but he
Like
ended up giving up information.
Motherfuckers volunteering to tell, dude.
Hey,
there's not even no pressure, and the cops weren't even asking.
That's how it is these days. It's crazy. But
wow, bro.
I end up going to jail. Then I end up going to the holding tank.
Real quick, because I know the law, and I know. Did you have legal representation?
No, I had my mother.
She was present?
Eventually she became present.
During the questioning?
During the questioning.
Oh my goodness, bro. Did you ever confess to the murder in the interrogation room?
She was in tears.
What did that look like?
It's just, you just sitting there watching your mama cry, and it's just like, ain't nothing nobody could do.
How did that make you feel at that time?
It made me feel bad, but at the same time, I'm not understanding the full severity of the situation. So even when I got arrested, then I ended up going to the juvenile holding tank. I ended up telling one of the staff, like, oh, I'm not worried about it. I'll be out in a couple of days or something. And even the staff was looking at me like I was crazy.
But that's really what you thought.
But that's really what I thought.
And when did you go to trial?
I didn't go to trial till I got incarcerated January 2007, so I ended up going to trial like 17 months later, August of 2008.
Was it an adult trial?
It was an adult trial. My first court date, I was shackled up and bound over to adult court on a van. So I was arraigned in adult court.
Why did they go adult court?
Because I guess, I don't know if it was Governor Brown or Schwarzenegger, but
could have been Schwarzenegger.
They had amended it to whereas juveniles could now be tried as adults as long as it met certain criteria for a violent felony, and murder was one of them.
Plus enhancement.
Because they were saying basically, I think back in 1994 with Bill Clinton and Joe Biden and them when they passed the tough on crime law, saying that juveniles were child predators, that young juvenile gang members were child predators, and that they should be treated as adults. And that's where it stemmed from. And then when I think either Schwarzenegger or Governor Gordon Brown, they amended it in California, that they amended the penal code to whereas we could be tried as adults again.
When Biden made that statement that these young criminal gang members are child predators, do you agree with that statement from your experience?
No, I don't agree with it, right? Because I know a lot of juveniles that I was incarcerated with. Like I say, it just happened that I was from Sacramento County, and Sacramento was tough on all the laws. but I was also incarcerated with people from Oakland, San Francisco, and stuff that had these same type of crimes that went into the CYA, got rehabilitated, and been doing well, and is still out to this day.
Okay, that makes sense. I just wanted you to clarify that from your experience.
Yeah, so I don't believe that no juvenile can not be redeemed.
Okay. But it varied per county, the severity of the laws.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be some type of recidivism. It don't matter if it's a juvenile, whether it's adult, because you always going to have people that just don't learn.
Correct.
But, for the masses of juveniles, if you give them right rehabilitation, I believe they can come out, equipped.
So you're in adult court. Did you know, hey, I should be in juvenile court, or you didn't know, or it didn't matter? Court was just court to you?
Well, I didn't know, but as soon as I seen my attorney, the first thing that she tell me is you going to adult court.
Oh my God.
But she made a mix up. The first time she seen me, she said, you're facing 25 years of life.
Okay.
And then I go to court and I'm in the arraignment thing. And she says, hey, I made a mistake about the time you're facing. And then I said, oh yeah. She said, yeah, you're facing 50 years of life.
They must have had conversations. You know how like lawyers talk
the lawyer
at
and the
lunch
DA?
and shit? They must have had a conversation or something.
They must have had something.
And then they said, we're going to hit this dude with 50
and then,
to life.
They end up charging me for the first degree murder, which carried 25 years of life. And then they gave me a gun enhancement causing great bodily harm, which extended the 10-year gun enhancement to 25 years of life.
Oh my God, dude. When you were 15 years old.
I was 14.
No, in trial.
In trial, I was 16.
16 years old, trial. Dude, was your mom present?
When she could, because she had a job. So
Right.
my mama wasn't present. My auntie would come fill in for, a couple other family members would come and fill in for her.
What was that day like when the judge vocalized you're being sentenced, you're guilty?
Well, see, I knew it, right? Because I think I had 10 white jury, 1 Hispanic, and then 1 black lady. But I knew they found me guilty because the black lady came in crying.
Really?
Yeah, she came in crying, so I'm like, okay. So then the judge, he get the verdict, he read the verdict, boom. Guilty on all counts, guilty on first degree murder, guilty on gun enhancement causing great bodily injury. So they tell me come back in, I don't know, 45, 60 days or something for sentencing. So then I come back for sentencing like 2 months later. And the judge, he got this whole speech, oh, I'm sad to give Mr. Stevens 50 years of life, and it's sad that we're going to be losing 2 juveniles, 1 that died and 1 to the prison system for the rest of his life. I'm sorry that his mom was going to have to visit him behind the glass for the rest of his life, and he just come with this long spiel.
Did it look like he was reading the spill, or it was coming from like...
No, it was coming from his mouth. He wasn't reading no paper.
You really think he felt bad as a judge?
I don't think he really cared.
It's just fucking part
Just
of the
another,
job.
just another person. So they end up sentencing me that 50 years of life that day. I left. As soon as I get back to they shackle me up, transport me to the juvenile hall. As soon as I get back to the juvenile hall, of course the whole juvenile hall know already. So the staff is coming up to me, are you all right? You okay? They ask me, do I need to talk to the psych and all that stuff? No. Like 20 minutes later, they called me out for a visit. I go to the visit. My mama in there crying. I'm telling her, don't trip. It's going to be all right. And then after that, I think I was in juvenile hall for like a couple weeks, and I ended up going to CYA, to the Children's Youth Authority.
Were you doing the math in your head? I'm 16 now. In 50 years, I'm going to be this old. I'm going to get out, or did you?
Well, at that moment, I wouldn't even, I just was like, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah, at that moment.
Your
I was
life
like,
is over.
Yeah, at that moment, I was like, it's over. Stopped believing in God, became an atheist, the whole 10.
Did you lose hope?
For a moment, yeah. You know, fresh sentence, given 50 years of life, you ain't trying to hear nothing. Not at that moment.
How was CIA?
CIA was straight.
What? Because I know that it was different at the time. They've shut it down.
I was in
since.
Preston.
Preston.
Yeah, in
Any
Ione,
fights? Any
California.
riots?
Yeah, you had fights. That's just regular in Hawaii. Fights, riots, stuff like that. That's just regular.
Regular.
Yeah, as soon as you get there, you automatically got to catch a fade or two with your enemies off the top.
You went from juvenile hall to CYA, and then you went to prison.
Yeah. On my 18th birthday, the CDC came to get me.
Holy
Pack your shit. You going to
dude.
prison.
Was it your actual birthday?
Yeah, my actual birthday. 18th birthday. And the cold part about it, though, everybody knew I was going, though, because it had one staff in there. His name was Ferguson. So for all the kids that sent him to prison, what he do is, on death row, they got the last meal.
Yeah.
So before you go to prison, he like, hey, man, what you want your last meal to be?
At the CYA?
At the CYA.
And would he actually make it happen?
He actually bring it.
No way.
And I'm trying to tell you, he actually bring it. I knew I was going to prison. He like, hey, man, what you want your last meal to be? Ooh, this, and that. Give me a hug. He cool as fuck.
That was just his thing?
That's just his thing. Because he understood, like, man, it's just a fucked up. Because when I got the wire, they told me, they said, man, you ain't supposed to have all that time. So, they actually be feeling for kids and stuff like that.
Staff members.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just like you got some CEOs that be cool like that,
right.
but.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're human.
Yeah, so I knew I was going to the pen because he brought me that last meal. Then the next day, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. They like, Stevens, pack your shit.
You said his name was Ferguson?
Ferguson.
Man.
White dude. I think he got like one gold tooth in the front.
That's a trip, dude. I had no idea that was even a thing. The last meal for CYA before you go to the big house.
Before you go to the pen, he used to always do it. But 18th birthday, ended up going to DVR, Tracy.
For reception.
Because, you get there, they got to calculate your points and stuff, all that stuff. So I'm there for like 90 days.
And then?
The counselor calculate my points. Oh, you're going to High Desert State Prison, level 4, 180. So I'm like, all right. So like 90 days later, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. They come to my door with the brown bag. The brown bag say HDSP. So boom, pack with your little property and stuff. Get on the bus. We get on the bus. We end up going to Folsom, drop some people off in Folsom. Boom. Then from Folsom, we went to Susanville because, Susanville and High Desert next, right across the street from each other. So we end up going to Susanville, drop them off, then boom. We get to High Desert. As soon as you get there, they got a sign that say, welcome to High Drama State Prison.
High Drama State
High
Prison?
Drama State Prison. So boom.
What was the sign on? Like a wooden sign?
No, it's like, how you put the signs up? Yeah, it's like a regular sign. Like they had to put up.
That's
welcome
weird.
to High Drama State Prison.
Okay.
So boom, we get in there. We get stripped out, squat cough, all that shit. You got a black Southsider. He must have had some words with the police. The next thing I know, they slamming him. He naked. They slamming him, spraying Macy, stick him in a cage and throw the big fan on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he in there just screaming.
Mm-hmm.
So after that,
when you saw that, where were you guys in? R&R?
Was in R&R.
When you saw that, what thoughts went through your head? Like, oh, fuck.
And I'm just like, that shit crazy.
Or like, oh, here
I'm
we
like,
go.
I don't know what he did, but so we go to the cages, they processing us. They tell me they're like, you going to C6, Charlie Upper Yard. So I go to Charlie Upper C6. At this time, though, you got the who was it? I believe you had the Northern and the Whites had war. So they was already like on a year lockdown or something.
What year was this?
This was 2010.
Okay.
So I think they was like already on a year lockdown or something like that. But it was the Whites and the Northerners, they was at war for sure. So we get there, we on lockdown already. So I go on a cell. It just happened I had an older homie from South Sacramento, but he was from Meadowview.
In the cell?
In a cell.
Was that just by sheer luck?
This was just by, I don't know. You know how y'all do it in R&R, man. Y'all be having.
But did you know him from the streets?
No, I didn't. I knew
Okay.
his son.
Okay. Was he the OG?
He was the OG. He was like 46.
Okay.
Been going to prison his whole life.
Yeah.
But it was cool though because he ended up lacing me up. So he tell me like, hey man, we on lockdown right now. Fill out a medical slip. Just go ahead and see where everything at. Because on the 180s, you got to go behind the wall to get on the patio.
Yeah.
So he like, man, just fill out a medical slip, go see where the canteen at the law library so that when we come off lockdown, he like, it's going to be so much going on, you already know where everything at. So I ended up doing that. Boom, boom. We ended up coming off lockdown, and then we was programming for a minute. Then the Northerners and the Southerners ended up going to war. Then we was on the yard, and I think the Northerners was in medical, or somebody was in medical, but the Northerners end up busting out the handcuffs and stabbing up a Southerner. So we go back on lockdown.
When your cellie was lacing you up, was he lacing you up on prison etiquette and what the do's and the don'ts?
He was lacing me up on a whole prison politics, prison etiquette, what not to do, what
Even
to
with
do,
the other races.
with the other races, the whole getting there. You know, when you go to prison, that's what they supposed to do. They supposed to give you the ins and outs on the prison politics.
Supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, they supposed to. So, like I said, I was fortunate enough to have an OG homie that cared, that gave me the ins and outs of prison politics, the do's and the don'ts. Because once you abide by that, your whole prison stint become easy.
Were you receptive to what he was telling you?
Well, at first, I wasn't really receptive to it, to be honest with y'all. I'm like, man, he talking this old shit. Ain't anybody trying to hear this shit.
No way, dude.
But like I say, man, eventually, like I say, it's like planting seeds. Eventually,
Right.
you know, after you've been there and you start seeing what he talking about,
Exactly.
it starts taking root.
Right. So you see fucking North, South going at it, North, whites. You ever in your mind start to think like, damn, I can be a part of this soon?
Well, then it ends up happening.
Right.
But it's with the blacks.
But
the
did you
Bloods
ever
and the Crips.
the Bloods and the Crips?
Yeah. So one day we out there, we playing basketball. We end up getting into a riot with the Crips.
Who?
The Bloods and the Crips.
Are you Blood affiliated?
Yeah.
See, that's what we didn't cover in the beginning. The area that you're from, are there Bloods and Crips?
No, there are Bloods and Crips. There's even Bloods and Crips from the same gang.
That's what's always so confusing, dude.
But you know, in prison, you can't just do that. In prison, it has to be distinct: Blood, Crip, this, and that. And then you got the non-affiliates, but then you got the non-affiliates that also run with either the Bloods or the Crips.
What about the Bay Area and the Kumi?
Well, the Kumi is its own thing, period. And then the Bay Area is just, you know, Oakland, Richmond, Frisco, all them.
So as a Blood, you guys got involved in a riot with the Crips.
With the Crips.
On the basketball court?
On the basketball court.
Was that
over
spontaneous?
basketball.
Over
Spontaneous. You know, in prison, man, it's two things, you know, it's always going to be something going on. The basketball court and gambling.
Facts.
So, you know how it is on the basketball court. It get competitive. People get to talking. People get to talking crazy.
Were you guys strapped?
Some people was.
Was that common practice to stay strapped?
Well, you know, the pen is like the streets.
Worse, I think.
So you gotta, you gotta stay prepared at all times. You gotta stay militant. So, you know, it's just certain protocols that you have to follow.
After this melee, this riot, did you guys go to the hole?
Some of us went to the hole, came back, but you know, you always go on a lockdown.
Right. Then at that point in time.
You had to, I remember when you had this dude, he was always talking tough. Soon as the riot happened, soon as we go on lockdown, now they about to do what's that incremental lockups to where they do 1 and 1, 2 and 2.
Incremental release?
Incremental release, my bad. They about to do incremental release. So it's 2 Crips, 2 Bloods. You know, they building the numbers up. This dude rolls it up.
Damn, he rolled it up at the
He rolls it up.
What did he do? Go up, walk up to the cops?
He
Walk
told
up to
the
sergeant?
police he can't be here.
Oh, God.
His life is in danger.
Jesus. That's interesting. Because there's motherfuckers that get stabbed and
then
still
mind you
don't
though, because I remember we was doing an incremental release. We go out there, and one of the homies, he like, let's just go right now. But the other older homie, he like, man, I done been through this plenty of times. A lot of times after that one time and it's talked out, it don't go nowhere.
Okay.
So he ended up getting squashed. This dude then wrote it up for no reason. But I done
That's
seen
hilarious.
it. I done seen it time and time again. The dudes that be in prison talking the toughest, acting the toughest, they end up rolling up.
It's not just prison, man. It's everything. Whether you're in the military, just the loudest guy in the room is the weakest guy in the room. Well, let's talk about the opposite. Was there some fucking ride or die soldiers in there?
Oh yeah. You got some homies that let's take off on the police. Let's do this. Let's take off on the police. Yeah, man. You like, man, just calm down. But nah, you got good dudes in there that'll put it all on the line.
All on the line.
All on the line. And don't even question it.
Right. You know, that's good to a degree, right? Because if you channel that energy to something positive, such as public speaking like you and I do, and you fucking go all in, that's a good trait to have.
Yeah, that's a good trait to have, but most of the dudes like that be in a pen, they be having life without parole, they be having life, and they really deep down, they really just gave up. So they be ready to crash out.
True. How long were you in high desert for?
I did 5 years in high desert.
How did you like that cold weather?
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad?
The snow wasn't bad. The only thing I don't like, it don't matter where I'm at in prison, is when it rains.
Why's that?
Because you get all wet, you got to hang all this shit up in your cell. Then you just...
Now, I know that the Mexicans have mandatory yard. Did you guys have mandatory yard?
In high desert for the blacks is mandatory yard. But when I got down to the level 4 270, Centinela, it wasn't so much a mandatory yard for the blacks.
I'm glad we're talking because I watched certain YouTubers, something Portier. He was up in high desert, black dude.
Yeah.
And the way he was talking was like, yeah, the blacks on fucking high desert have a militant structured program.
They do. But that's because in high desert, you also...
Damien Portier.
Who?
Damien?
Mm-hmm.
It's up there.
But in high desert, you know, they teach you that structure. You know what I'm saying? You come in there and you kind of like more, it's like a more militant program. And then you go down to the 270s and it's kind of like more relaxed. Like on the 180s, you go there, Pete Wayne talking to the police.
Right.
And stuff like that. But then you go down to the level 4 270s and you like, damn, you over there at the podium talking to the police by yourself? And you just see shit that just catch you off guard.
Which program did you like better?
Well, see, it's twofold, right? Because high desert gave me my structure.
That's what I'm talking
militancy.
about.
But when I got to Centinela, it opened up more opportunities as far as rehabilitation.
Perfect.
Anger management, money management, stress management, Imperial Valley College, working in the PRA as a sewing machine operator. You know, in high desert, you in a cell 23, 24 hours a day, especially from 2010 to I think 2012, because I think in 2012 they changed it to whereas you only going to lock down in 14 days.
Right.
But when I first got there, we was on lockdown 6 months.
Plotting.
The homie came out and stabbed the police 6 months.
Right.
So my first 2 years in high desert was just lockdown time. And then when you go from that and you go to Centinela and you working in PIA all day, and then you getting paid 35 cents. Hey, it sounds funny right now, but
no, I hear you.
You know, when you went from that environment to this, you done came up in the world.
Big time.
So, like I say, it just, both of them had they different purposes and benefits.
Would you agree that men need discipline and structure?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in kids, even kids. Kids need structure and discipline. Men need structure and discipline. Everybody needs structure and discipline. Because when you don't got that, things just go haywire.
Big time. What about the level of respect, right? I've often heard, and I know for sure, the respect level on GP level 4s, especially 180s.
Well, you know, everything is about respect.
Right.
You know, you sit down at it, like even out here on the streets, a person to just reach over your food. In prison, somebody's not about to do that. You know, and then when you walking past somebody, you might be like, excuse me.
I saw you do that at the beach.
Yeah, out here, a person just gonna walk past you, step on your shoe, elbow you. You know, in prison, that's a problem. Because in prison, everything is about respect.
Correct.
Everything, like the smallest thing. You know, I done seen a Mexican disrespect a black and his own people kill him.
Right.
So, you know, in prison, especially on a level 4 GPs, everything is about respect.
Since you've been out in society, would you say that society lacks respect?
Society definitely lacks respect. People just Man, like I say, they talk crazy, especially with the road rage.
Yeah, the road rage is. I don't fuck
The
with road
person
rage, man.
that cussed you out and called you all out your name,
I don't fuck with
drove
road
off.
rage. Motherfuckers have guns, dude.
And then more, you be in the store, people then walked into you, they looking at you crazy.
Breathing down your neck.
And then you get a job, your supervisor talking to you crazy.
Oh, I know.
And you like, man, are you serious?
Have you found the adjustment to be difficult as a result of
I
that?
think my most difficult adjustment, man, is just authority.
Authority,
Because people be feeling like they either in these certain positions or they deserve a certain type of respect, and you be like, for what? Like, man, if you don't go somewhere.
Did you witness any murders at High Desert? Or the gunner you shoot the Mini 14?
I think when I was in High Desert, it was like, what, 8, 9 murders? But that wasn't that many, because when I got to Centinela, it seemed like it was more than that.
What about the Mini 14 being fired?
I seen a white boy get shot.
Oh, you
His
did?
name was Billy. He was out there. They was doing a removal. You know how the whites do it. One person grabbed the legs. The other one stabbed him. But he grabbed his legs. He was stabbing him. And then he stopped. And then, I don't know, he must have been high off something, because he looked at the tower and he said, "What?"
No.
And he had the knife in his hand. As soon as he said that, the tower shot him in the stomach. And for a minute, he was still talking. Then the dude that was holding the old boy legs that got stabbed, he said, "Billy, you're shot." And then he looked down and he looked at himself and seen the blood, and he just fell down.
Did he die?
I don't think Billy died.
Damn.
Nah, because matter of fact, eventually he came right back to 5 Block.
Jesus.
That's when I had moved to Charlie 5.
Hey, when you were in High Desert, I know you mentioned that they were some of the most racist. Did
Oh,
you say
yeah.
racist people or racist cops?
Man, these are some of the most racist. I'm going to say, well, I don't know, man, because I think High Desert is just like white people anyway, though.
No, it is.
But I
from
don't
what
want to
gathered.
assume, so I'm going to say racist cops.
Okay.
But, man, these is the most racist hillbillies I ever seen in my life.
Big guys? Like corn-fed type?
Man,
or just it didn't matter?
Yes. I'm talking about even the old ones.
Well, those are probably the
It
worst.
was like an old CO. His name was Wentz. I can't stand that fucking Obama. He's trying to take away our fucking gun rights. I'm talking about all you guys look forward to a Section 8. I'm glad I'm making money off you guys today. I'm talking about these people was racist.
When they're saying this, are they saying it to the inmates?
Man, this is what they do because they use psychological warfare.
Okay.
So he'll be acting like he talking to his partner. But, you know, when they do breakfast, they bring the cart down the tier because on the 180, you fed through the tray slot.
Right.
So they having this racist conversation, bringing these trays to everybody tray slot.
So these motherfuckers just talking.
And they just acting like they talking to each other. And you like, man, these motherfuckers.
Damn.
But that's how they do it. Oh, that son of a bitch. He's like, man.
Now, did you ever see anything out of pocket up there, or was it for the most part things were necessary the way they were ran?
I mean,
from your perspective.
I wouldn't say certain things was necessary, but I mean, as far as the inmate population,
And
it
staff.
had to be that way, you know, just based on the yard it is, a level 4 180. It has to be militant. It's always tension. As soon as you wake up, it's tension. It's always a problem. But as far as, you know, how the staff get down, they went out their way.
Oh, you did mention that.
They went out their way. They went out their way to try to be disrespectful. Because a lot of them will tell you, like, look, I don't care if you assault me. I'm trying to get a paid leave anyway.
Trying to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a paid leave anyway. And they be serious about it. So you like, man, I know it's a lose-lose. If I assault him, I'm going to the hole, I'm catching more time. And he ain't going to care. Because he's about to get a paid leave that he been talking about. Or early retirement.
Right.
So, like I say, staff, they go out their way, but as far as everything else, though, is necessary.
Now, that's disrespect and getting you guys to bite or baiting you. But what about the fighting of the crime? searching for dope, searching for weapons, lockdowns, grid searches.
Well, you know, hard desert, they come with the bullshit searches. They come with the missing metal. One time they locked us down, I think for 3 months, missing a shovel. Like, man, how is you missing a shovel?
You know,
Like,
sometimes
man, y'all
metal
really
does come up.
sent, y'all really sent us to Sacramento and they approved this shit? Y'all missing a shovel? For one, when you go in the building, you're being winded down. You're being patted and winded down. So where did the shovel go? It's a super maximum security prison.
Did they ever find the shovel?
They never found the shovel. They just went, they came, and you know in hard desert how they do a section at a time. So they gonna come search a section a day.
A section at a time.
A section at a time. They gonna come search a section a day. Then you know they use the guerrilla warfare tactics. So they might do 6 block A section a day. Then it's quiet. Everybody like where they at? Oh, they in A block B section. Then they might pop up over here.
Right. I like the way that you identified the psychological warfare, the guerrilla warfare tactics. Did you learn this inside the prison system?
Yeah, I learned all this. You know, prison is just psychological warfare for the most part. Like I say, my OG Sally told me as soon as I came in there, he said, look, man, I'm going to tell you one thing about prison. 85% of it is mental. Only 15% of it is going to be physical.
Was he right?
He was right.
Did you read while you were in there?
I read a whole lot. Did my whole time reading and working out.
Did you find your faith in there?
I did find my faith in there. I mean, I self-educated myself. I made 3 documentaries that's on YouTube in prison, video documentaries. I wrote the book in prison. Did like 3-4 music videos in prison.
But all of this you did at Centinela?
All that I did at Centinela.
So you were just fucking hitting it
But
hard.
when I was in hard desert, I was talking to one of my boys that I was in the pen with the other day. All I did was read. And for the most part, when I was in hard desert, I did all the black literature. George Jackson, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, Nat Turner, Frederick Douglass, Assata Shakur, Angela Davis. So this is what we being given to read. The 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, the Art of War, the Art of the Warrior.
And this whole fucking time, dude, you have it in your mind that you're going to die in prison.
Eventually ended up changing.
Correct.
I think
but in this part of time.
At this part of time, yeah.
You're just becoming the best that you can be.
Exactly. Because my OG cell, I go in there, and you know, in the 180s, the cells is big. But in the corner, he got 2 big stacks of books.
Okay.
And you know, when I get in there, I don't got a TV. Because your people got to send you a TV and all that stuff. So he like, man, you can watch my TV. But you know me, I'm like, nah, I don't really know you. So I'm like, what's that over there? He like, some books. I just start reading his books.
Now people talk. People talk in there. Were people aware that you had 50 to life and you were a youngster?
Well, eventually after we, not even when we came on lockdown, when we started doing the searches. Because, you know, when you get searched, they cuff you up, then they take you in the kitchen in the table and sit you at the tables. So, you know, I'm new. So, you know, all the brothers, they like, hey, man, Hennessy, what's your celly name? He like, oh, that's Stay. So then they start asking questions. Oh, what's up, young Stay? Woo, you know, where you come from? Oh, yeah, you know, how much time you got this? And then, you know, eventually they find out.
Now, with the response from them, like, damn, youngster, they got you.
Nah, they like, damn, man, you going home.
What do you mean you're going home?
That's what they always would tell me.
How if you had a 50 to life with the L?
I guess just based on my age.
That's very interesting because at that time, those laws.
At that time, the laws wasn't even there.
Correct.
But the cold part about it is when the laws changed, everybody said, I told you so.
Damn. When you were doing your time at High Desert, did it matter to you that there was other homies that were only doing 5 years, 3 years, going home?
I'm gonna be honest, when I first got to High Desert, it was mostly all lifers and
all hitters.
People with time. I didn't start seeing people that was short time on level 4 until I got to the 270.
Okay.
But when I was at High Desert, it was mainly lifers, and a lot of them dudes had been down 12 years, 15 years, 17, 20 years.
I still firmly believe that High Desert.
If I remember, I think me, my partner, and then this white that ran with the blacks was like the 3 youngest dudes on the yard.
A white that ran with the blacks?
Yeah.
Who'd he run with?
He ran with the Bloods.
Was that an issue amongst the other races?
And he had to be escorted at all times.
Did it ever kick off as a result of him?
Not when I was there.
All right.
I think when he got to Pelican Bay, they attacked him.
That happened at Centinela B Yard.
But when I was at High Desert, they just kept escorting him at all times.
By himself?
No, we kept escort on him.
Oh, you guys kept
Yeah.
escort on him. Damn. So after you fucking learn the ropes the proper way in High Desert, how do you get down to Centinela? Bus?
I got down to Centinela on the bus. They was the counselor had called me and he like, hey man, all you guys that have been in High Desert 4 or 5 years, we giving you a chance to get out of here. He said the only bad thing for you is it's in Southern California.
Okay.
I said, oh yeah. I said, but I get to leave here. He said, yeah, but it's your chance to leave here. I'm like, oh yeah, let me go.
Real quick, you didn't know any other place besides High Desert. So to you, that was normal.
That was, yeah, it was just.
Was there other people transferring in and saying like, damn, this fucking, it's rocking and rolling up here. It's active.
No, everybody that came from Centinela had a good story about Centinela. The economy was good.
No. What I'm saying about High Desert. Did
What?
you realize how bad High Desert was while you were up there? Or were there other people coming there and be like, damn, what the fuck's up with this place?
That's what happened. People started coming from places like Solano.
And saying what?
They like, man, I got to go back. This shit up here is crazy. I ain't never experienced no shit like this. And to me, I'm like, huh? They like, yeah, man, just wait when you leave here.
Dude, they're not joking.
And then boom, like I say, I got to Centinela.
And when you got there,
First thing I asked, I'm like, man, what's the politics? They like, oh man, basically the yard was reopening from a level 3 to back to a level 4. So basically everybody was still figuring it out. But even just walking the Chow, because you know on the 270 you walk the Chow. So even that was like, damn, we walked the Chow?
in High Desert, when you were there, would you ever see different races playing sports with each other?
No, that didn't happen till I was in Centinela. But when I was in Centinela, after the dudes got released from the shoe,
Right.
like sometime after that is when that started happening. So that was like what, 2015,
14, 15?
16?
But you even a couple years prior to that,
But
there was already
High
changes.
Desert, that wouldn't happen.
No, but at Centinela prior to 2015, there was already changes that we had not been used to seeing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Weird stuff. I mean, weird to us, but probably weird to you as well.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to seeing it.
When I got to Centinela, it was kind of like a culture shock, like I say. But
Were you high strung, high tensed?
yeah, you know, you come from the 180, you always on high alert. And then, like I say, you used to being in a cell all day with your cellie, not walking to chow. So when you go to chow and there's 100, 200 people in the, you like, damn, what's people moving behind you? You looking around. But I'm even like that on the street sometimes.
Right.
Still though, it's still like a high alert, like what's going on, a high awareness.
Were you tripping? Like, hey, this is a setup. Something's gonna happen.
No, I wasn't tripping. I was just watching everything. I was actually excited to be walking the chow.
What was your first summer like down there?
My first summer,
The heat.
it
gets
was
like
hot, it was hot as hell. It was hot. Like 112, 115, 118. I remember one time we working out. We on a pull-up bar. One of the blacks, he hit his pull-ups. He jumped down. As soon as he jumped down, he hit his head. Boom.
Passed out.
And passed out. Heat stroke.
Damn, dude. Once you have a heat stroke, you're fucked.
Ambulance came. But yeah, that's one thing I be telling people too when you're in Centinela. Do not take that heat as a joke. I done seen plenty of people pass out. It gets hot.
So you go from High Desert to Centinela. You clearly have more freedom of movement.
Of course, more freedom. I ain't gonna lie though. Even when I got there and I touched my first cell phone,
That's where you touch your first
that's
cell
where I
phone?
touched my first cell phone at Centinela. I had just got out the hole. This when they had C6 and A5 in 2015.
What were you doing in the hole?
I had just gotten to I got into an altercation. Then me and my partner ended up jumping somebody. And then a couple days later I came out of work. Then I ended up getting jumped. And then my partner that would help me jumping, which was my cellie, he was on the other side of the gate doing a one-on-one. So they took us all to the hole. Then later on that night, a couple of my other partners ended up getting a fight, and they ended up coming to the hole. So then RGI ended up launching an investigation because there was so many incidents in that day.
Were they just random, all those incidents? Or were they because of a reason?
My two issues was from the same thing. We had jumped somebody homie, so they was trying to get their get back. And then the ones later on that night, they was both from Sacramento, but I think they had like some personal problems going on, but it just happened we was all from Sac. But I ended up coming out the hole, and then I ended up going to C5 to the other side of the gate because, they got 1, 2, 3, then they got the fence up, then they got 4 and 5. So I ended up going to C5, and then when I get there, I ended up getting another OG celly. But this time, he been in prison 36 years. He was from L.A., from Swines. His name was Steel Bill. And when I get in there, he like, oh, man, you was out there fighting on the yard. I'm like, yeah. He like, oh, man, what you need to do, man, is just sit down, man, get you a phone, get you a girl, get some visits, take these self-help classes. And he like, man, you going to go home with this, and that. So I'm like, all right. So then I ended up touching my first cell phone. I was in a cell with him. I grabbed a phone. Somebody sliding in the door.
That easy?
Now, mind you, when I was in High Desert, I'd never seen a phone. When I was on the streets, they didn't have the Apple phone yet.
Correct.
I think it came out like later on that year. So when I get the phone, the first thing I ask OG is how I turn it on. He like, what, youngster, you don't know how to turn on the phone? I'm like, nah, I've been in jail this whole time. But once I started playing with the phones, man, it made time way different.
When you left High Desert, it had to have been around 2014, 2015.
It was November 2014.
There was 2 changes in the department at that time. One was heavy hitters got let out of the shoe and hit all the main lines, and then the laws had changed where lifers were going to go home.
Oh, yeah.
Did your mindset start to shift or change as a result of
See, my mind shifted in 2014 when they passed Senate Bill 260 and 261.
Okay.
But see, what that did was it wasn't a for sure release. It was hope.
Based on what? What were the criteria?
Behind Scott Budnick, and it was behind it, which was juveniles that got sentenced when they were 17 or younger has to do 25 years, and then you're able just to go to the parole board.
Wow.
Not that you was up for actual release, that you had a chance to go in front of the parole board. So then that moved my possible parole date from January 2057 to January 2031.
We're not even there yet now.
We're not even there yet now. See, next year I would have just been going up for not even parole, but it's consolation hearing.
That's crazy.
Next year I would have been going up for a consolation hearing, which says, hey man, you go to the parole board in 5 years, which is 2031, but before you go there, you need to get this, and that.
Right.
Which wouldn't have been no problem because I had already started preparing like I was going home anyway, so I had knocked out a gang of that stuff anyway. But in all actuality, I wasn't up for parole for another 7 years, 2031. We in 2025. And that's under the new law, Senate Bill 260, that had passed in 2014. So that's what gave me hope in 2014 and had me start working towards my rehabilitation. The anger management. And then, like you say, you mentioned the OGs that came out of the shoe. Well, we had an OG that came out of the shoe that was BGF. His name was Brother Malcolm. I think he did like 20, 25 years in the shoe. But I ended up being in college with him. And I remember I had got me a girl, and she like, oh, you need to come closer to home, this, and that. And then OG Malcolm from BGF, he told me, he like, hey, man, don't do that. He like, man, stay here, graduate college, and you going to get out of prison.
Dude, these dudes knew what time it was.
And that's exactly what he told me. And I stayed, graduated to Imperial Valley College, had got my AA degree in psychology. And then...
You got an AA in psychology?
Yeah, I got an AA degree in psychology.
Damn, bro, you got a higher education than me, man. How did that make you feel? I got a high school diploma from Raleigh, California.
Man. It's all that's just a stamp for society's approval, man. But
well, remember you said the CEOs used to be like, man, that's some bullshit.
Oh yeah. Man, I used to be going to Imperial Valley College, and they used to give us our IVC folders, but we'd be walking by and they'd be making little slick remarks talking about, yeah, man, that's some bullshit, man. Y'all get to go to college, man. We got to pay for, no, y'all get to go to college for free. We got to pay for our kids. Like, man, what? And then I used to always reply back, shit, I am paying with time.
True.
But like I say, Cinderella, man, that's what opened up all the opportunities. I ended up getting my apprenticeship as a sewing machine operator, certified through California. I ended up getting the customer service, the electrician, anger management, AA, Criminal Gangs Anonymous. I even took Shakespeare and playwriting. You know, all the rehabilitational classes. But one thing,
Go ahead.
one thing I can say though is when you're taking all them classes, they all got the first step of being self-aware and holding yourself accountable. So then, you know, like a lot of my time, I was mad. You know, when I first started doing my time and angry, like I told you, I was an atheist and had to go through all these changes. But once I started holding myself accountable and responsible, that's when things started to change.
When did that happen? The accountability, the self-accountability.
A little bit after I had that talk in 2015 with my OG Shelly Steele Bill, because he told me, he said, man, I've been here 36 years, man. He said, man, this ain't no way to grow up watching the world through the cell window. So his conversations with him had a profound impact on my my incarceration and my rehabilitation and my stride to get out. And you know, even when I did end up getting released, I seen my attorney the other day. He was telling somebody, "Oh man, this is my client. I told you got himself out of prison." But it's from all the work I had put in while I was inside prison.
Let's talk about rehabilitation, what it is, what it's not, and how it is effective. Because what you just said right now was that you did self-help, PIA behind the walls, you got your AA in psychology. To me, that's rehabilitation, and it worked. Is rehabilitation important in a prison system?
Well, rehabilitation is important in the prison system, right? But that's if it's the correct rehabilitation. Because me, I kind of had self-rehabilitation because I had to take it upon myself to pursue it. But a lot of the things they try to rehabilitate you on in prison, you don't need. Like we was talking earlier, you said on one of the yards they had auto mechanics or something.
Yeah, Delta Yard.
Now, see, on the GPs, it's hard to find a trade like that. Because you can take auto mechanics or something?
Auto body.
Auto body. You can take auto body and use that on the streets.
Correct.
You're not really going to take being a sewing machine operator on the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even...
So you're saying move around...
What I'm saying is they need to... How they got at San Quentin, how they got the rehabilitation hub there with all them necessary programs, teaching you how to do content, teaching you how to do podcast and streaming and editing and all that stuff. They need to take all them same groups and move them to other prisons. You can't just do this at San Quentin and say, oh, this is a rehabilitation hub. No, you have to do that everywhere else because everywhere else you got the 10 substance abuse classes. You don't need 10 substance abuse classes. For what? You got to teach people things that they can take out and learn. Roofing, housing, solar panels. You got to start implementing stuff like that applies to the real world.
So you're saying more real life job experience?
Well, what I'm saying right now is they throwing rehabilitation on there just to get the money.
Right. A facade.
Like I say, you go to school now for 2 hours. You go to a class, they got like 3 or 4 classes in a day for 2 hours. I done been in prison and seen the same person going to the GED class for 5 years. Like, man, you don't got your GED yet, but the teachers, they ain't caring because they getting paid. The only thing they caring about is the CASAS test and it's another test you take they get paid for. I remember one time I go in there, I'm on the money management self-help group, but she wants me to take a CASAS test or something like that. And I told her, I said, why do I need to take this? I graduated college. But when I take the test, it's to get her money.
Absolutely.
So since I refused to take the test, she took me out the self-help group.
Oh, wow, dude. Now, you mentioned too many substance abuse classes, but there is a substance abuse problem in California prisons.
There is a problem, right? That's why they came with the Sebastian program. You remember in the Title 15, the Sebastian used to be a controlled substance. But now it's legal. So it is a huge problem, but that's not the only problem. when you trying to rehabilitate inmates, because it's more inmates in there that don't got drug problems too. But you got to give everybody resources to be successful when they come out into society. It's like when I came out into society, since I wasn't on no parole or no probation, they didn't really have no programs for me.
Right.
So now I'm out here left to fend for myself. And like I say, when I'm in there, yeah, I did the college and stuff like that, but what meaningful trades they have for me that I could take and use out here? You know, it's a good thing that I got family support and stuff like that, because without that, who knows what would have happened? You know, I might have been out here committing another crime trying to get some money. So like I say, they need more classes or more trades, you know what I'm saying, focused towards rehabilitation instead of just these things that they call them rehabilitation just for the money. And then you come out here and then you got the recidivism rates going up. You got Governor Gavin Newsom now. He talking about he giving more money to the police because crime rates is going up. When at first you was just letting everybody out.
It's a manufactured chaos.
Yeah.
It's a manufactured cycle.
But see, OG told me that. He said, look, man, you better get out of prison right now while you can, because soon that window going to close and they're going to go back to the old system.
Do you know that I've been talking to numerous men like yourself, and they've said the exact same thing, and I'm in 100% agreement? That window's closing for those lifers to get out.
Yeah, I see it. I was telling somebody that the other day. I said, man, it's almost over now.
Yeah.
Once you got Gavin Newsom talking about he's starting to give money back to the police because the crime rate is going up and he shouldn't have did, that means he's closing it, because he's about to be out of office probably, and he's going to be running on his next political campaign or wherever the case may be.
Would you say, and I know you were at Centinela, which has 0 mental health programs because it has minimal to none mental health inmates.
They don't have nothing for mental health
Correct.
at CDC. I remember one time,
It's
you know, I
because of the
just wanted to, not even that though. You can't even really go and talk to a psychologist. Like, say you got a problem.
Okay.
You can go in there maybe one time, but they're going to tell you, they're going to like, man, if it ain't nothing that we can't treat you, you know, with a pill, then you shouldn't come in here.
Damn, like that. Okay. This is good to even be talking about.
Because a lot of people are going there, like, say, like, lifers that got to go in front of the parole board, but you got to have psych hearings. So a lot of people be trying to go in there and talk to the psych and talk to them about their problems so they can have that insight and showing that the parole board that, look, man, I've been trying to talk to somebody, but they even shut that down because you can't be seeing a psych like that. Like,
Right.
you don't need to see a psych just to get on some medication so you can't be in the heat. Like,
Right. You're talking about like counseling sessions.
exactly,
Therapy sessions.
like therapy sessions. Like, that's part of rehabilitation.
Right. Oh, I agree 100%, dude.
And in prison, you can't even get that on a regular if you wanted to,
True.
because they're going to look at it like, well, what's going on? Something's wrong with you?
Well, now that we're on this freaking conversation, dude, I worked at Centinela and then Donovan. To me, from my experience, they give everything to the SNY and the EOP.
Exactly. I even heard people come back from the parole board talking about, oh, man, they told me if I want a parole, I got to go S&Y. But I'm like, well, why would you got to go S&Y? You didn't come to prison S&Y. You came to prison general population, and you leaving how you came in. What's the problem with that?
From your perspective, why do you think CDCR does that?
Well, see, the whole thing about CDC, man, is to try to break your spirit. From the strip searches to going in your cell, terrorizing your cell, trying to make it as hard as possible for your family to come visit you. Everything is really about punishment.
That's not what they say.
People say a lot of things,
Right.
but do they actions show it?
Right. Oh, I agree with you 100%, dude. How do you feel that the SNY and the EOPs get everything under the sun?
I think it's some bullshit for one, because you giving them perks and privileges for what? For being some dirtbags?
For wilding out and
For-
and
Being on general population, doing some shady stuff, and then running over here? Like, it shouldn't even be no S&Y if you not a pedophile or something like that. Like, a lot of these dudes that's on S&Y now and got into drug debts, then ran over there because they ain't want to get their ass whooped over a drug debt or something like that, or they done stole some cell phones, and now they done been called thieves, so now they scared to take that discipline. They done ran over there to the S&Y yard. So it's like y'all over here rewarding these people for what?
Exactly.
And all we doing on the GP is keeping everybody clean.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You go to the GP yard is respect. The COs ain't gonna be disrespected like that. Everybody gonna take care of their own. And that's how the line stay in order. But y'all rewarding these people from going over here to S&Y yard, creating gangs over there.
Oh,
They
shit.
probably got more incidents than we done had on the GP yard.
Times 20.
But
dude.
they being rewarded. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
What's your take on all those S and Y gangs? 'Cause there's a lot. There's a lot.
I don't know, man. I know, well, they already trying to integrate everybody back together anyway.
What's your opinion on the integration, forced integration?
Well, the forced integration is some nonsense. For one, you're creating a problem. You're creating a bunch. You're trying to mix people that you know are no good with people that are trying to go home. That's been programming, positively programming on GP yards, minding their own business. Now you trying to mix them with some people that stole, that told on them, whether it was lies about what they had, what they didn't have, just so they can go to S&Y. Because when you go to S&Y, you got to debrief. So you trying to put debriefers with people that's been on the GP line, knowing what the outcome of that's going to be. So you're trying to create problems because, like you say, we're in a cycle where lifers are going home. And then they mad because they had to let the dudes out of the shoe.
Right.
So now they trying to find a way to get back at these dudes. Okay, we're going to let y'all out the shoe, but now we're going to make it as hard as possible for y'all to go home and program. Because why? All these people that y'all don't like, that we know that y'all don't want to be on the line, we're going to throw them on the line and force y'all hand.
Facts. What if I was some white guy named Bill and I said, who cares? Mix them all up. Why is mixing them all up a problem?
Well, because once you mix these two groups, you know violence is going to occur.
Right.
It's just prison. The GP, we have to keep the yard clean. And you either going to be on the yard that's good or you're not. You know, prison, look at it like a job. You know, you either want to keep a good career or you don't want a career.
You want to be homeless on the fucking streets.
Exactly. You want to be in a dog-eat-dog world, which is the S&Y yard.
Right.
The every man for himself, all these weirdos over here.
Yeah.
Or you want to be over here programming with the dudes that's solid.
Correct.
And in order to do that, you have to keep the yard clean. In the administration, you know, you got a guy that's sitting at the seat. He don't care.
Correct.
He gets to go home at the end of the day. And it's more than his advantage if we throw everybody in one thing, let the violence go up, and say these guys are still animals. And
Facts.
rehabilitation ain't working. And now the lifers don't get to go home. And now they're going to be talking about, well, let's go back to the shoot program, this, and that, because they're trying to create order out of chaos when they created the chaos in the first place.
Would you be able to do a better job of running the system?
I believe I could do a better job, especially after living in the system 24/7 and seeing what they do right, what they do wrong. Don't get me wrong, all COs ain't bad. I done met some cool COs. There for a job, do they work, don't give you a hard time, real respectful. So you do got COs like that in there. But for the most part, the system is corrupt. And then what happens when you give a corrupt system power? Like they had an experiment where they
Stanford experiment.
Yeah, they had the Stanford experiment where they made some inmates and some COs, and it showed that when you put people in positions of power, they're gonna abuse it.
Did you know that Green was as cutthroat to themselves as well?
Well, I done heard at High Desert they had the green wall, and they used to go to the parking lot and get them up though. They used to go to the parking lot and fight. So I you know what I'm saying? Then every once in a while you'll catch them sneak dissing each other. Oh, he's a bitch. Or he told on me. So I knew they was cutthroat.
Oh yeah. Would
and
you
then
say
not only that though, you know they be knowing when somebody gonna get stabbed.
Do you know that they know when somebody's gonna be getting stabbed?
Man, you know.
No, I know.
When you see somebody getting stabbed and you see the police not responding and they watching, they know. I remember I came out, I'm in Centinela, come fresh out the kitchen. Mexicans kill a dude right on the yard. I'm talking about they stabbed him 60, 70 times. He on the ground crying for his mama. CO just watching. Finally recalled the yard. Next day, back to program.
Oh yeah, that was the thing about Sentinella.
COs know they don't. You know when they, because you could tell by the reaction when they don't know they fast. When they know they just watching.
You know what's funny is that you're not wrong. Number one, and number two is when the new young guy tries to go like that, the OG holds him back and says, "Sit back, kick back, youngster. Wait a little." I don't know why the rhyme or the reason, man, but how did that make you feel as an inmate when you're watching the police, the cops, watch a murder go down? Did that make you feel helpless?
I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I seen a stab when I was in high desert, I'm like, oh shit. But then after you start seeing them, it's just like, oh, you just start laughing. Like, damn, you got stabs? Oh man.
Oh, the COs?
Nah, I'm talking about the inmates. When you're an inmate and you know the first time you see a stab and it's like, okay, this is real. But after you done been desensitized and you see them stabs over and over, it's just like another day.
100%.
It's just another day. You know what I'm saying? At that, you don't even think about it, the CO's gonna help or not.
Because it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah, when you've been in prison long enough, you already know that you your own last line of defense.
Fuck.
So that's why you out there working out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you doing, because you mentally always preparing for war. I was watching your other interview. Oh, you was asking, boy, like, oh, was you working out, to prepare for war?
This guy, the guy.
Yeah, he like, oh, nah, but I don't believe that. I believe everybody in prison from each racial group. Go ahead.
No, I agree because I used to watch him on the lockdowns.
Yeah.
I used to watch him do the burpees.
I believe everybody is training in prison for war.
Facts.
Because at any little moment, the yard can blow. And everybody out there, especially the Serranos.
Have you been involved in race riots?
I've been involved in one race riot with the others.
Where at?
In the high desert.
What were the numbers like?
Well, we always outnumber the others. The others only be like the others only
hey,
be
but
like,
they can hold it down though.
They can hold it down, but they only be like 10, 15 people.
No, but they can hold it down.
No, they do their shit. They do their shit. I done seen one run all the way across the yard. I'm talking about Superman all the way across the yard.
Yeah.
But yeah, like 10, 15 others, 60, 70 blacks.
Oh, yeah.
But like I say, prison though, man, everybody in there preparing and training for war.
Did you ever, in your mind, wonder what it would be like to kick it off with the Southerners?
Oh, I did a couple times.
In your mind?
Yeah.
And did you think it was not going to be a good idea or a shitty situation?
Nah, I was thinking more like, damn, sometimes these blacks be scary.
Okay.
Because, when certain incidents happen, but, on level 4, everything is about being diplomatic because,
Absolutely.
It's money that got to be made. People don't want the program to stop.
Right.
For whatever the case may be. So some instances you be like, man, that issue right there, motherfucker should have just went.
That changed, though. What you're talking about right there, in the past, they would have gone.
Yeah.
It was all the way, man. It was fucking crazy. Did you end up going to Bravo Yard as well?
I only went to Bravo Yard for a month. That was 30 days before I got out of prison.
So from the time you got introduced to the Scott Budnick prop that we were talking about, what was the actual proposition or law that changed that got you out?
Well, for me, it was a series of ones because it started with the Proposition 57.
Prop 57.
And then from the Proposition 57 stemmed Senate Bill 1391, which was when they amended it again, juveniles that are 14 or 15 can no longer be tried as adults. Boom. Then I filed that, but it wasn't retroactive because I exhausted all my appeals and my case wasn't open.
Wow.
So then People versus Laird came, but he won it because his case was still open on appeal. So then years went by, that didn't fall through for me. And then some dude named People versus Heard out of San Diego, I guess he read the Title 15 or whatever he did, but it said under 1170.2, juveniles that got life without parole can petition for resentencing after 15 years that they meet certain criteria. And see, he didn't have life without parole, but what he did have was 180 years or something like. He had just a lot of years. So what he told the courts is, I should be equally protected since my sentence equals to the functional equivalent of life without parole. Meaning that even though I don't have life without parole, I'm still sentenced to die in prison, which is the equivalent to having life without parole. So when he did that, he ended up winning this case. And when he won that, it opened up the floodgates for everybody that had the equivalent to life without parole. So now the argument was in court, what constitutes the functional equivalent of life without parole? Now, mind you, all these different counties is saying 50 years or more. Now, this is how shady it is. Sacramento. My Asian partner, shout out to my boy Jordan too, and my boy Gore. But my Asian partner, he had a partner, Sacramento County. He filed the People versus Heard. They sent him down to juvenile court because he had 50 years of life, and they said it was a functional equivalent. Now, when I filed mine, when the decision come in, the judge tells me that I'm going to deny you on a People versus Heard because I don't feel like 50 years of life is a functional equivalent to life without parole. But as of January 1st of 2024, we just passed 1172.1, which gives the judge discretion to recall your resentencing on the judge's own account. And she said, so even though I'm denying you, I'm going to grant you under 1172.1, and I'm going to consider recalling it by myself, the judge. But she said, before I recall your sentence, I'm going to get a DA a chance to respond and say why I shouldn't do it. So when she do that, I called my attorney. He said, man, I just got the papers. He said, they denied you, I don't know why, and they want me to do another brief. And then when I explained to him, he said, oh, you know what? He said, what it is she wants us to reach a deal. Because she don't want to overturn your sentence and send you back down to juvenile court under 1170.D, People versus Heard, because if she does that, you're going back to juvenile court and your case is going to be sealed because you're going to be sentenced as a juvenile and it's like the crime never happened. So he said what it is she wants everybody to win. You go home and they uphold a adult conviction. So my attorney reached out to the DA. Hey, man, would you mind agreeing to a deal? Voluntary manslaughter, 11 years. Time served, no parole, no probation, and a strike. So the DA like, all right, I'm going to think about it. So 2 weeks go by. Mind you, only got like 60 days to appeal my decision or something like that. 30 days or something. Or 40, some shit. But like 30 days later from when he reached out to her, the DA finally called him back and was like, we're going to do the deal. So boom. He like, man, call your people, tell them you going home, a couple weeks, this, and that. We just going to do the paperwork. So mind you, I'm like, all right, for sure. I call my peoples, I tell them, I go to the Zoom court. He telling me I'm about to go home. I go in there. The DA told me we ain't ready. We want to put the court off. So my attorney like, nah, we're not doing no more put off because Mr. Stevens only got 3 more days left until he can appeal. Right. If he don't appeal within the next 3 days, he's not going to be able to appeal it. So you either going to do the deal or we just going to appeal it. He's going to get resentenced and go to juvenile court anyway. Right. So they tell me, hold on. They go leave out. They come back. The judge like, you know what? I'm going to get a DA 72 more hours, get the paperwork straight. They come back June 3rd. Sentence me. Re-sentence me, matter of fact. I knew it was over too. But this is what the DA do though. The first time he didn't have my victim family. The second time the DA came in, had the victim family.
On the Zoom call?
No, I was the only one on Zoom because I was all the way in Centinela. And my attorney told me, he said, man, if you go back down to the county jail, when you get re-sentenced, you got to be released from prison. So they're going to take you to reception, then you're going to have to wait in reception, and then you're going to have to be released from the prison. He said, but if you go to Zoom, you already in prison, so you're going to get released. So they bring the family in, this, and that. They saying what they say. The judge's like, okay, I'm sorry. I regret to say, but I'm about to recall Mr. Stevens' sentence and give him a second chance at life. She ended up vacating my first-degree murder, giving me the voluntary manslaughter, took away the 50 years of life, gave me 11 years for the voluntary manslaughter, then no parole, no probation, because I ended up doing 17 years, 6 months. Took the deal for 11 years. So the extra 6 years, 6 months went towards my parole.
Oh, okay.
So it cleared it.
Yeah.
I was actually over it like 3 years, 6 months.
Where did they come up with the manslaughter of 11 years? Where did that come from?
I guess that's what the manslaughter carry.
Okay.
It carries 6, 11, and I think 21 or something.
All right.
So they gave me the mid term. And then ended up getting resentenced June 3rd. 3 days later, they released me. June 6th.
3 days
3
later?
days. My attorney told me, look, man, 14 days up to 10 business days. I'm sitting in the cell. I'm working out. I hear the returning door pop. Zzz, dum. I look at the door. It's a parole lady.
What building were you in?
I was in, at this time, I went level 3 for a month. I was in B4. Hear it pop, boom. I'm watching her lips. I see her mumble it, Stevens, because you know they got to talk to the intercom. Stevens.
Yeah.
Next thing, zzz, boom. Open the door. She like, come sign your papers.
You knew what it was for?
I knew it was for.
Were you happy?
Hell yeah, I was happy.
Were you keeping the happiness in, or were you
Hell
showing
no. I'm there. I signed the papers. The homie calling me down the tier, Bo Rue. I'm like, what's up? He like, Buzz, you gonna let me get your TV?
Did you give your shit away?
Man, I went immediately and gave him my TV. Gave him my TV, boom, boom. I gave my other partners my hygiene and stuff like that, my bin. I'm thinking I'm about to sleep that whole night. I don't get no rest. Good
Why?
thing we had the
Anxious?
tablets, though. Yeah, I was anxious. Had the tablets. I'm sitting there talking to. Next thing I know, it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock. They pop my door. Stevens release. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's game time.
Was that a long night for you?
Oh, it was a long night.
Long night.
Long night. Longest night I ever had in prison.
I bet. I bet.
Oh, shit. Boom, they come get me. Walk me out, boom, boom. Then we come back. They doing breakfast. And mind you, only a few people knew I was going home. So people were seeing me. They're like, hey, man, where you going? I'm like, man, I'm going home. They're like, what? And then next thing I know, I get out, boom, boom.
Were you all in your blues?
I was in my blues.
And then you go to where? R&R?
Yeah. Go to R&R, you sit in the holding tank, and then you be processed out, and then you jump on the van, the little bus, go through there. We was going through the gates. The CO like, man, who y'all got in there? They like, oh, you got Stevens in there? They like, oh, man, tell him congratulations. He deserve it. Then bam. I get out. My brother come pick me up. I got the video. I jump out the van. The CO talking about, man, he ain't even on parole or nothing.
That's it, huh?
That's it. I grab my property out the van, jump out, see my brother. I ain't seen my brothers since 2008. See my brother, walk up, hugging, see my cousin, jump in the car. I end up going, I messed up. I switched out my clothes. I'm going live on Instagram.
And?
Then I got this vlogger. He take a screenshot of me, post it on his page. Now everybody know I'm out. So now the whole, I think sitting out like 10 hours away from Sacramento. The whole 10 hours, my brother's phone blowing up. Your little brother out, your little, because everybody can't believe it. I just had 2 licenses in 50 years.
Right.
And even though I told people I was coming home in 30 days, then nobody still believed it. So now his phone blowing up. So it gets to a point now, I'm like, look, man, don't even hand me the phone, man. Tell him stop calling. I'm listening to music. I'm chilling.
Did you grub right away?
I wouldn't even, I'm gonna keep it real. My brother had to force me to eat.
Okay.
My whole thing was I was trying to get back to Sac. So we ended up stopping at Chick-fil-A. He told me, oh man, they chicken sandwiches good, this, that shit was all right.
They are good.
I
man.
would have took
Spicy
I would have
deluxe.
took a McDonald's chicken sandwich.
I don't know, man. Chick-fil-A's good.
That shit tastes regular.
No, it doesn't.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. He told me, oh man, they got this sauce on there, this, that. Man, miss me with that.
Buffalo sauce ranch, man. It's all
You
good.
know what I'm saying? So
You end
boom.
up going back to Sac.
I ended up going to Sac. Mind you, I told my grandma, she didn't even know I was coming home.
How was she?
I told her, I said, look, grandma, I'm going to call you. I knew I was going home the next day, too, because I just signed the papers. I'm like, man, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Boom. Pull up to her house. She come out. She like, oh, my gosh.
Had she ever visited you in prison?
She came when I was in high desert incident. I think she visited me like, oh, and she came to my college graduation. But I think she down there passed out. 'Cause I was holding her for a minute. Boom. That shit was crazy.
When did it sink in that you were a free man?
Shit, as soon as I walked out them gates,
You were good.
didn't even think about prison out of once. Didn't even look back. Oh, it's crazy too, right? Because you know you got to go to the checkpoints,
The border patrol
the
checkpoint?
border patrol
Yeah.
checkpoints. Man, we get pulled over. They smell a little weed. I'm out of prison 20 minutes. They want to search the car.
Okay.
They get to searching the car. They bring the dog. I'm like, man, that's some straight bullshit. Police harassment.
But isn't weed legal now to a
Weed is-
degree?
Weed is legal.
Correct.
I think what it was is my brother told him I was fresh out of prison.
So they were tripping?
So they was kind of like, all right, now we got a reason to fuck with them. But nah, after that, though, I ended up getting here, surprised my grandma. It's just been doing me ever since.
You still have homies in prison.
I got a gang of homies in prison.
You think
And
about
then
them?
I downloaded the GTL app. I don't really message them, but I send them like pictures and videos and stuff. I send them pictures and videos all the time.
Do you hope for their release?
Yeah, every day. That's why I tell a lot of people, a lot of reason I do be going on these podcast interviews and stuff, you know, to speak for people with life or life without parole. That because I know, like, as soon as I posted the first video when I got out, it went viral. But it like brought like a lot of hope to people that got life and life without parole. Because, you know, you be in prison is so small, you get to meeting people from different places. So when a lot of people heard I was out, it gave them like a lot of hope because they know, you know, I've been down 17 years, 6 months, had 50 years with 2 life sentences, and now I'm out. So now they know it's possible for them because, you know, the whole time I was in there, I used to always tell people what an OG told me named Sadiq. He like, man, even though you got life, always prepare for like you going home tomorrow.
Damn.
He like, man, because you never know.
Right.
And once I started really listening, I started preaching that message to other inmates, especially if I was cool with you. I used to try to get them in self-help groups, different different rehabilitational programs, just always trying to talk them into doing something positive that might eventually bring a release. Because I was one of the dudes, I'm in the law library 1 or 2 times a week. I might not even have nothing to do in the law library. I'm just over there looking for something new, reading different stuff. And I'm always bringing that back to the yard, trying to give people hope. Even when I was getting released, I was telling my cellie I was about to go home, and you could tell by the remarks he making that he thought he was going home before me. Oh, yeah, when I go home, I'm give you my chain. I'm like, all right, well, what happened if I go home before you?
Yeah.
Then fast forward, when I get out, he like, oh, man, I thought you was crazy.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I'm always trying to get those with life or life without parole hope because I got a lot of friends in there with life and life without parole, especially those with life without parole because that's like you don't have no release date. But you always got to keep that hope because the way things is changing, you never know when it might be your turn. And if you ain't preparing for that turn, you might miss it.
Because it is a possibility.
It is a possibility because I remember, you know, once upon a time, people never thought I was coming home. Even people that I see out in society today that smile, shake my hand, laugh in my face. Same people that thought I was never coming home, never sent me a letter, never sent me a soup, no nothing. And now that you out, they expect something from you. But like I say, man, I always try to preach hope to those that's behind the walls because I know it's possible.
How would you define what being a man is?
I would say being a man is, you know, standing up on principles, on solid principles, on righteous principles, doing what's right, even when the trend is going against you. Because, you know, we're in a day and age to whereas a lot of people like to follow trends, whether it's right or wrong, but being a man is having to be able to stand up under that pressure when you know that it's right, no matter what other people are saying. You know, holding your ground, sticking to a certain code and conducts and ethics. Holding yourself responsible, accountable, admitting when you're wrong, being able to accept constructive criticism. You know, them is things that having integrity, you know, doing the right thing when people ain't looking. You know, that all going to, you know, being a man.
What words would you have for an audience member that in their belief system, they believe, oh man, this individual committed murder, they should be spend the rest of their life in prison? When you have your exact story like you just shared.
Well, I would say, you know, everybody deserves a second chance because, I mean, I understand that, well, to a certain extent, I can understand, you know, with somebody losing a loved one might feel like we're losing a son because, you know, that's a pain that's untold. a parent losing their child or a family member losing their sibling, that's, a pain untold, and you can't tell nobody how to feel about that. But all I can say is, everybody deserves a second chance, and I believe that everybody, should be able to give the opportunity to be able to redeem themselves and, try to do something positive in the world and change that negative into a positive and hopefully, help others. Because if we stick somebody in a system whereas they just getting worse off and they not rehabilitating themselves, then, you ain't no better off than them.
From your experience and vantage point, do you see that the society and government pins people at the bottom against each other?
Yeah, it happens all the time. It's the old divide and conquer strategy. We throw some crumbs over here, we throw some crumbs over there, and then watch y'all, go for it. When the whole time they living how they want to live.
Facts.
So
Epstein Island type shit.
They do it all the time, like the poor whites against the blacks. Or things like that, or the blacks and the blacks against the Hispanics, or the Hispanics against the blacks, and stuff like that. And people fall for it all the time. Oh, the black people don't ever defend the Hispanics. Like, how don't we? Y'all done profited off all our bills. The Civil Rights Act, y'all prospered off of that. I'm saying all these things we set the blueprint for. And people, tend to go into that, y'all not helping us, but how are we not?
Do you think that the media plays a role in dividing?
Well, the media is a controlled propaganda machine for the government. So, they just show you what, they want to show you. Like, I remember my grandma went to Israel and Palestine, and then she came back to America. She said, boy, you'd be surprised on how different the news is from out there and out here, and how not desensitized, but how basically controlled the American media is. They just show you what they want to show you. They show you all negatives, put all this chaos in your mind, and then end with one positive thing. But they, the media is built to keep you in fear. They play on people's fear.
Facts. 100%. Where can people find you now? Instagram, what's your handle, and YouTube?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at big_stay_. You can find me on YouTube, The Prisoner's Voice, or type in Big Stay. You can check out my documentaries, Loyal State of Struggle, Young Black Men in America. The second one, Beautiful Elevation. The third one, Jamel Stevens, Brothers Incarcerated. The fourth one, Big Stay, Finally Free. You can get my book on Amazon, Loyal State of Transition. I got another book coming out, 365 Days of Inspirational Morning Quotes. We still at it.
If I'm a youngster in the hood and I want to reach out to you and pick your brain, am I able to?
Yeah, I'm open to giving anybody advice. I respond back to all DMs. I'm not Hollywood.
I hear you. It gets busy at some point, though, dude.
Yeah, it do, but man, like I done had people, I done been at work, man. It's been 2 o'clock in the morning. A female called me talking about she about to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm saying, or I done been on Instagram, get a message.
Right.
A kid asking me, what would I tell a kid that was thinking about committing suicide, and I had to make him a video. So, I always try to respond to people DMs because you never know what people might be going through, and you might say that one thing that could change them. I also want to give a shout out to my publisher, Laquana. She didn't publish like 18, 19 books. She here with me today.
Any last closing words? The floor is yours, dude. This was a phenomenal interview.
Well, man, my words, man, the people would be, man, to set your own trends, set your own blueprint, never stop chasing your dreams, always invest in yourself, never count yourself out. When it get hard, don't give up, keep going, because that's when something about to give in. As long as you can open your door, you got opportunity, no excuses. You got one life to live, time is short. Find your purpose and make it worth it. Hey, man, say, man.
Well, thank you, dude, for coming on the show, man, and sharing your message to the world. I appreciate it.
It's all good.
There you guys have it, folks. Another banger, man. I truly believe we're doing the Lord's work over here and sharing the messages that need to be shared to the people that need to hear it. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Love you. Keep pushing forward.
Unhinged mind, Hector's legend engraved. Living life raw, never been tamed. From the hood to the pen, truth and tales pen. Hector Bravo unhinged, story never ends.